Welcome back to another episode of Movified Wednesdays. I'm your host, Mark Hirschi, owner of Salmon's Moving and Storage, located in beautiful Vancouver, British Columbia. Today, we have Stephen Reed with Big League Movers and Ready Rolls. What's up, Stephen?
What's going on, Mark? How you doing this week?
Fantastic. I'm excited, and I'll tell you why I'm excited, because we have not so much a lookalike that looks like Brian Slater. We have the one and only Regan Weiss, CEO of 43 Inc., founder of The Hub, the contractor. I mean, this guy has his hands in every little pocket you can think of. Welcome, Regan, again to the show.
What's up, guys? Thank you for having me.
We're so jazzed. I want to hit this right off the topic because both of us, Stephen and myself, had met you at the Titan events, and your presence is well known for those that have come out to the Moving Titans. But, you know, Stephen, how did you guys kind of connect? I mean, I just try and hunt down Regan. I was like, dude, I have to have you on my podcast. And we just hit it off right away. But Stephen, how did that connection kind of come into play?
I got a couple of housekeeping issues to take up with you, Mark, before we jump into Regan. It's sorry to be awkward here, Regan.
Uh-oh.
The song for the last podcast on the advertisement. What in the world was the stilettos in the Come Check Me Out in my stilettos song?
Listen, I am doing my part with helping out Heidi and Spencer Pratt, you know, with their house burning down to advertise her song. And I figured it'd maybe get us a couple more likes, to be honest.
Hey, maybe we got a new crowd this week. We brought in Regan to keep them in, but
maybe.
That's my first order of housekeeping. I don't think Regan would appreciate the next advertisement talking about stilettos, but I just wanted to say that. But I'm really excited about this episode. Brian, we know the GOAT. We're missing him. Mark and I got together. He's on a flight right now. Mark and I got together and said, what are we going to do? Everybody wants to hear Brian. How do we fill those shoes? How do we fill the GOAT of the moving industry shoes? We got together and we found him. We found a guy who's very, very busy, and he came into here and saved the day for us. But he taught me one thing. I'll say this because I think he would tell me something after if I didn't. He taught me to always speak to gratitude when speaking. And I wanted to say right now, I'm overwhelmed with, I'm just a good old boy from Memphis. Right? I started with $1,000 in the moving industry and a dream and just kept going, and probably just too dumb to quit at a lot of times. So I'm over all the DMs I've gotten from this podcast and stuff. I'm overwhelmed. I'm tickled about it. I'm getting back to everybody. I'm ADHD. It might be real early in the morning when I get back to you. But man, thank you. I got to say that. Thank you to all these listeners. They're growing, Mark tells me, and I'm thankful for it. And I'm thankful that you are valuing our information that we're giving. Having said that, guys, believe it or not, and you probably believe it, this is totally my uncomfort zone, right? And how I'm here is a tribute to the guy who's on this podcast, our guest today. But how I came to this is one day I was at the Moving Titan retreat a couple of years ago. And, you know, everybody's hungover. It's the party night. We're having a good time. Everybody's getting there early in the morning. Everybody worked out. We're ready. We're excited to see the speakers. And we're looking around the room, we're seeing everybody in the moving industry, and this guy comes in, and we're a bunch of alphas. We're a bunch of successful moving titans in this room, right? And there's other speakers that are world-known, nationwide speakers. And this gentleman comes in the room, and man, all the air goes to this gentleman. We all don't know who he is. We're like, oh, who's the guest speaker? They got last minute. And man, in the next 60 minutes from me saying that, my life completely changed. This gentleman came on the stage there at the Moving Titan, or whatever you want to call it at the time. It was one of the first ones. And he challenged everybody in that room to get off their ass and learn that they are a marketing company, not a home service company. And get out there and get yourself out. You are the brand. And get yourself out there and get on video, which y'all have all seen my videos if you're listening to this. I've learned a lot of them. I rip off this gentleman named Regan. I see it, and I'm like, man, great idea. I absolutely love it. I'm going to try that. But a lot of the videos, he'll tell me I'm not doing enough videos and stop with the pictures probably right after this. But I got so inspired, so inspired. I still have the belly, right? I'm still a good old boy from Memphis, and we got good food here, right? But I've lost a lot of weight from that day, right? I saw this gentleman came in the room that was really an inspiration to me, that was living life the way I wanted to live my life, that was inspiring his community and telling a story. And that was my first impression of Regan, man. He killed it on that. He changed my life that day. He was a speaker. He didn't even know his topic. From my understanding, he was called and just, it was a last minute, okay, I'll try it out. I'll talk to the moving industry. I'm happy to. I live in the area. I just wanted to share that introduction. This guy, a lot of us don't know him. He's been in the Moving Titan network, and we have some viewers that aren't in that network. And man, he is an amazing man. And if you don't know him, look him up, follow the hub, and then I'll let him kind of talk on that. But that was my first, and he's such an inspiration, so I'm thankful to be here. And I'll let it go on that side. Good Mark on that.
I was just so inspired to meet him because of all the glorious hair this guy has all over his face, and the cleanest beard in every trade you can think of.
It is the cleanest beard. It is definitely the cleanest beard for sure.
Moving companies, you know referrals are the best leads, right? But communicating with customers, tracking progress, managing payouts, it's just overwhelming. That's why at SnoBall, we do it all for you. And we're really good at it. In fact, in just a few months, the SnoBall platform helped JK Moving generate over $200K in new revenue. We even helped New City Moving book 30 moves in a single month. If you have happy customers, we can get you referrals. Scan the QR code or click the link in the description to get the first 2 months on us.
Are you a mover looking to make an impact? Discover MovingLetters.ai and join the ML Plus Club today. Elevate your customer engagement with the personal touch of handwritten letters.
If you want to take your company to that next level, it's the only way to subscribe. If you're doing anything but Moving Letters AI, you need to get on it. So it's going to take your business to that next level. You're going to see an increase in that revenue. Let's go.
I highly recommend using this company. They're amazing to work with. They even send you an email on how much work they're producing for you.
Don't miss out. Join the revolution and start making moves that matter.
Put a golden damn ticket in there with Moving Letters AI.
I have to, I have to keep up with you young guns, or all the young guns in the room. It's all about the beard dye, but now it's a healthy gray and beard dye. It's like a healthy medium right there. But thank you for that, both of you. I really appreciate that. And as you know, I really kind of hate that stuff when I'm being talked about. But at the end, I get it. What's crazy, and I still talk about it. We start with gratitude, but it's just so funny how we have to show our credibility, right? Like, if you don't know who we are, what we've done, like, you won't listen, right? Like, that's what it is. And the funny thing is so many people, like, they'll walk on stage, or newbies walk on stage and like, well, why, what gives you the right to be this individual? What gives you the right to get up on stage? What gives you the right to say these things to me? And what gives anyone the right is the ability to admit your failures, and the ability to say, hey, I've been through these trials and tribulations, and let me talk to you at a story, not talk to you, but talk with you and say, hey, this is where I failed in life, and I don't want to lead you down that path. And I think at 46 years old, besides being a connector of individuals, which is my number one superpower, is connecting people, is literally that, just being transparent. This is where I failed in life, and let me show you what not to do to be successful. And I think if everyone would take that angle, if you would, man, everyone could be a great public speaker, right? Because we all have some kind of failure to talk about, which is kind of like a learning lesson, right?
What was your first impression of the moving industry? You got kind of our side of our first impression of you. What was your first impression coming in that day, or was it what you thought?
I didn't know what to expect, to be frank. I walked in and I expected a bunch of meatheads, to be honest, and I didn't expect, business owners. I didn't expect, I just, like even Wade Sweikel's, 2 college brothers, like that's ego. I just thought ego and all that stuff. Like, I didn't really know, but what I saw was a bunch of business owners, just like everybody else, that just need help and guidance, and that they were in a room that needed guidance. They're just like a business owner, like anybody else. So I didn't know what to expect. I just did know that no matter what, if you spent a certain amount of money to be in this room, you need help and you need guidance. So that's how I went in there, knowing I didn't try to have any prejudgments, but you just do in general because you see what you state, you know. So I will say the first time I met you, sir, Mr. Steven, what I recognized was the guy liked to talk a lot, had a lot of answers. But what I did notice is that you like to lift other people up. So when you had your moment to speak, and that's why I gravitate to you as well, when you had your moment to speak, you would always talk about the other person in the room that helped guide you, or something that you learned from them along the way. That's what I found impactful, that you were in that room able to do that. And then Mark, I think I probably said something stupid on stage. I think it was you, where I like questioned you and what you were doing, but then I realized like your mindset was already shifted. And this is what I recognize too. You two are not in that room. I mean, we all learn, like we all get nuggets. Like sometimes I yell at people when I see them in the same room all over again. I'm like, what the hell are you doing here? You've been here 5 times. What's the point? But you're there more for the camaraderie. You're there for the bonding of individuals, bonding of business owners in the industry. I can clearly see why you were there, but especially by the second time I was there, that you guys are titans in your own business and your own industry as well. So I'm grateful that you're there, willing to learn, even though you may or may not learn something that day, but you're willing to lift other people up while you're there. And I think that's pretty friggin' awesome.
And I love it. Thank you for sharing that. You know, I find you can be the most successful person in the room, but somebody that's talking on stage will either provide you with a nugget, some type of tool, or just a friendly reminder. And I think no matter where you are, there's always that great reminder of, hey, did you remember to put your shirt on that day? You could be super successful, walk out with no shirt on, and be like, oh, wait a second, what just happened? But someone's like, hey, did you remember to do this? And when I remember listening to you the first time, Regan, and going, oh my God, like it's sometimes you're just like, oh, I know to do this, but I really needed someone to just really hammer it out and simplify it and go, if you apply this, you will be successful. Your team will be successful.
And do it.
Wake up. Exactly. And then people just go out there all the time. It happens with my wife all the time. I will tell her the answer that she wants. She will have 5 other people of her friends, close knit, tell her the exact same thing and be like, oh my God, so-and-so told me this. And I'm like, I could have sworn I told you about this like less than 24 hours ago. But she wanted someone else to really push her.
You know, it's us telling no one's going to listen. Our kids aren't going to listen to us. They have to hear from their friends' parents. It's the same thing in business. I will tell you this. More people hire me, not just from the marketing aspect, they hire me for accountability. And I'm being dead serious. They're like, Regan, I know what you're telling me. I get it. I just need someone on my ass to do it. And I couldn't think of a better person to have on my ass than you. Like that's, these are conversations while they're signing my contract. And I'm like, wow, I'm grateful because I'm about to make a lot of money to kick your ass. But it's so what's funny is when I'm in these companies and I go there and I start training their staff to be accountable as well. That's where the nuggets really come in. That's where the help really comes in, because it's crazy. These guys are the bosses. They're in charge, right? They're the managers. And when someone comes in for the outside for 2 days, like, oh shit, they brought a consultant in. Things are about to change here. The funny thing is, they've already known what needs to be done, but this is the kick in the ass that they need to say, if you don't make these changes, we're going to make some changes here, and it might not be you, or it might be you not being here anymore. So that's been one of the reasons I'm successful as well.
You've started to do a lot more public speaking, actually like trying to teach people about public speaking. What would you say is some of the top 3 things that you notice people not doing? And what are the top 3 things that you push people to do?
So I just did a public speaking class this week, right? And it was at a really nice co-working space called 4 & Co here in Tampa, Florida. I mean, it's probably a $15 million complex. It's beautiful. Stunning. And, it feels like I'm in Google in California. Stadium seating, LED screens, gyms, sauna, all this is a co-working space. And I'm in here and I'm in the room and I have some friends come and support me as usual. I'm grateful for that. But there was quite a few strangers that I've never met as well. But they walk in with this bravado. They walk in like they're the shit. And I'm glad they do, because you should walk in like you own the room. You shouldn't walk in with that Superman syndrome. But when it's time to give them the microphone, everything changes. When it's time for them to talk in front of other people, everything changes. So I found a doctor. Now, this is a doctor, way more educated than you and I ever will be, because he's a doctor, and seized up in front of all these individuals when you give them the mic. And I'm like, talk about your practice. Just talk about what you do. And you get shifting and moving and nervousness. I'm like, what are you doing? Are you confident in who you are as a physician? Yeah? Well, let's go. Like, they're right there. They're right in front of you. And then I said, this is what I said to him. I said, this is your shot. He just looked at me. I said, if you don't sell these people right now, your business is out of business tomorrow. Why don't people think and sell like that every single day? Why don't you public speak like that every day? Why don't you make videos like that every single day? If you don't act like this, if you don't, put out the passion and the enthusiasm, you're going to go out of business. But for some fucking reason, we become individuals that become complacent that, the business will be there tomorrow. That's not the case. It's not the case. It can disappear in a way. So to answer your question, Mark, that's one of the main things is stop being so shifty and start speaking with passion. Start speaking like this can disappear tomorrow. Everyone's too concerned about what they look like. They're concerned about their blemishes, their gray beard, their big ears, their big nose, maybe their tooth is this color. You know what? Who's got all those shortcomings? Everything I just said is what I have. I have big ears. My nose is getting bigger. I'm getting older. I'm trying to cover these grays. It's not covering as much. I don't smile as much because my tooth is this color. All that shit fucks with you, but no one cares. They care about what you can do for them. And I know you guys have heard me say this shit before. They care about what you can do for them. So stop worrying about you so much and start worrying about them only, and they will find you fascinating. Worry about other people, take care of other people, and they will find you fascinating. They will gravitate to you. They will purchase from you, whether it's the moving industry, contracting industry, or videography industry. Just concentrate on them. So that's for public speaking, it just literally just speak with passion. If you're passionate about something, it should roll off your tongue, and it doesn't matter who's in front of you, and it doesn't matter if you're in front of a camera. Make sense?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, yeah, I think y'all both seen me public speak. I need improvement. I definitely need it. But a lot of times I just get passionate and black out, right? I'm just talking about what I'm passionate about and don't really remember if I hit all the notes, but it's something that I'm passionate about and I know I'm going to get the message out. If you're passionate about it, right, you're not going to fumble your words. It's something that you think about all the time. It's rolling off your tongue. And I love that. I love that advice. I'm amped up. I want to public speak right now.
If you're going to public speak anywhere, whether it's on the camera, you're talking to 20,000 people, or your private group, or whatever the case is, or even just a small group, or anyone on the Movified podcast, look at the bullet point, pull your bullet point, and if you're passionate and if you know your shit, you're going to have no problem articulating that bullet point. Too many people will write a dissertation and they'll think they have to cover everything, and then they'll want to read that verbatim. It's not necessary. Pick the bullet point and then speak with passion. It's literally that simple. You guys see me do it on stage. Here's my slideshow. Here's my bullet point, and then what's crazy, because you're like me, Steven, ADHD, then my omnidirectional mindset goes somewhere else, and then I'll pick something in, and now this is something that's learned over time. Now you got to gravitate back to your original point, because you've gone off over here, and you're like, all right, now how am I going to bring that back in? And that's called the callback, and I taught that this past week. Always call back and always bring it back to your original point, or quite frankly, come back to something that you spoke about prior, which would be a moment of levity, so you bring humor to it. Listen, dude, and this is no bullshit, and I think this is why I get ranked as a great speaker at these events, is because I like to bring moments of levity, but everyone goes up there, you guys know it, it's factual, it's like educational, it's like listening to your professor in college or teacher. Here's this, here's that, down. They want to be entertained at the same time, moments of levity, joking around, and they want to know that you're an effing human and not this perfect person. And no one's perfect, but their persona is real, right? Like they just want this persona of what? But here's my persona. This is who I am, on or off camera. Am I maybe elevated sometimes when the camera's on? Sure. Why would you not be? Do you want to be a monotone person like you're just having a normal conversation? No. Otherwise, no one's going to watch your podcast, Mark. You got to have some, you got to have
You're
fun.
no different. Yeah.
You got to have fun. You got to have education.
Well,
you got to have passion. You got to speak with wisdom and passion. It's crazy. Anyway, I'll shut up. Go ahead.
Hi everyone, it's your favorite mover, Austin Yarbrough, and welcome to my school. The school is named Moving Army because it's inspired by Andy Elliott's team, and we've got some amazing changes coming for the moving industry, and I can't wait to work with you. In this school, we will be doing a 100-day fitness challenge. Wow. So what this means is we are going to be working out for 45 minutes minimum physical activity for 100 straight days. Stay tuned for more information and let's get moving.
Let's go.
I remember, let's go. I remember reading a post that you did a long time ago, which was, this is who I am when you see me like on camera, but at the same time too, you're not going to see this when I'm out with my wife and my daughters having dinner. And it is a bit of persona, but what I do truly love about you is that you are raw when you're on stage, and you're just as raw to call out bullshit to anybody off stage. And I've seen people take it to like a 50x level on stage and then totally be different. But if you have a good medium where it's like, you don't need to be hooting and hollering just because you're out with your family, but if someone was going to come up and talk to you, that you would still lay into them the same foundation that you would on stage. Because I also think it's important that my kids see who I am on camera. They see me when I'm talking. They see me, talk to friends and family nearby. And it hasn't really changed. I'm just going to be as raw and talk just as straightforward and transparent as anybody else, which I think it's so key. When you spoke about, this attitude that you need to have, or like this type of presence on stage, me and Steven probably both fail at it miserably, but we have this verbal diarrhea that we just want to talk. Do you try and teach people on like the pacing? Like, this is when you need to kind of stop. This is when you do need to call back.
You know, it's funny. This actually, one of these videos that I created is in the Tighten Up training program, which I don't even need you to go search for that. I'll just tell you about it. And it's called The Pause. And the pause is probably the most impactful thing on the planet. I just did it. There's no reason for me to do that, but I know just your mannerisms right there, your pause, your thinking. And when you're looking at me right now, you're like, what is that guy about to say next? Because I put you on a cliffhanger of what I'm about to say. That is so impactful. And don't think it's not authentic, because it is. Because it's authentic in your speech. It's authentic in your presentation. So when you learn that pause, and when you look at someone and you get into their eyes and you get into their space and we have a discussion and we're like, do you understand, Stephen? Do you understand, Mark? It's a connection that will stick with them for the rest of their life. In fact, it might be the most impactful thing you say right after the pause. Because you paused, you knew passion was coming, you knew what you were going to say was going to be so profound, it might change their life. They'll never forget it. I have people that come back and be like, dude, I'll never forget when you said that thing to me 10 years ago, because I'll never forget how you said it to me. You sat there and you thought about it for a second. I didn't have to think about it for a second. I knew what I was going to deliver, and I knew what I was going to say was profound, and I knew what I was going to say was going to change their trajectory in life and their business. So that's why I say there's persona and there's an act a little bit to this, guys. Let's be real. This is a podcast, and I hope 1 million people see this. That doesn't mean a speaker is not genuine. That just means the speaker honed in on his skill or her skill and knows how to deliver. Learn how to deliver. Learn how to deliver in speech. Learn how to deliver in video. Learn how to deliver on stage. Learn how to deliver privately, because those impactful ways, speaking with the pause in person, can be 10 times more impactful than it is on stage.
I would be so scared to be the guy that wants to date one of your daughters and you sitting down doing these pauses. You just, when you leaned in to me and Steven, I was shivering. I was like,
I
oh
know,
my God, are we
I
in
know.
trouble?
Because you know I'm working out now, so I'm getting strong like you guys. All right. So,
Oh yeah.
So I will tell you that's a big part of it, learning the mannerisms, learning micro expressions. See, everyone forgets. I don't know if they forget, maybe they just don't know, but this camera picks up everything. And learning micro expressions during your discussions and having your talks means a hell of a lot of a difference. Your head nods, your movement, your shakes, your eye raises, your eyebrows, your wrinkle of your nose, the way you smirk is a micro expression. And you learn all of this in acting classes. And if you don't, all right, I'm gonna give you an example. Everyone, let's go watch Top Gun 1985, the original Top Gun. Let's go to the scene where Tom Cruise is sitting in his cockpit chair and they're all in class about to learn from the hot chick that he started banging, right? And he's sitting there with his pen or whatever the hell it was. And did you guys ever notice what close up on his cheeks? Does anyone remember Tom Cruise's cheeks moving? Pay attention to that, because that's not normal. That is planned, and that is a micro expression. He's clenching his jaw. Watch it. You're all going to watch it, because he's going to sit there and he's clenching his jaw, and all you're going to see is his cheeks expanding. And you know what that did? That brought sex appeal. And that wanted every woman on that planet to want Tom Cruise that much more. And it wanted every man on the planet to be Tom Cruise. And I know every man of the 80s was sitting there on their date, clenching their jaw because they wanted to be like Tom Cruise. You guys might think I'm effing crazy, but all of this shit works. It's micro expressions. It's on the camera. It picks up everything. This is why I tell people, go to acting classes, go to your local college, go to your local thespian stuff, and learn this stuff. It doesn't mean you're not authentic, though. It doesn't.
When did you master that? When did you say, so we're all kind of business owners like you. Regan's had several businesses, marketing businesses, contracting businesses, he still does. But when did you say, like, I need to really take public speaking and master my craft and really study that, and that's an avenue for me? When was that you said, I need to go to acting class?
I'm just being real with you. I was blessed to have a great father, and I know some of you heard my father's stories before. My father was a Toastmaster, okay? My father was the one that spoke at Kiwanis. So it is all about guidance. I'm gonna try not to get emotional, because that man changed my life, but it's all about guidance. And I had great guidance, and he never had to tell me. He just showed me. And I went to these things. I went to the Kiwanis, and I watched him speak. And I watched my father speak in front of the booster club for my brother's football team in high school. And I watched this man, people just gravitate to my father in the community, in the town. And I said, how the hell am I going to do that? How am I going to follow in this man's footsteps? How am I going to be the good guy, well-hailed in my community? And I was my father. And why would I not want that? Because I watched how people gravitate to him. I watched how my dad did deals and sales deals. I remember people coming back then, that was a long time ago, in the 80s and the 90s, come for a cup of coffee I remember, have a cup of coffee at the house. Come get some coffee. We'll sit down. We'll sit at the dining room table. I remember being upstairs as a kid, and I had a two-story house, and you could see through the wrought iron stair rails, and I would watch my dad just do deals, and I would listen. And what's funny is, I went to college, and I went to 6 different colleges, okay? Crazy story. I'm not going to get into that. But I went to 6 different colleges. And out of everything that I learned in college, besides to play football and flirt with girls, was that you have to be a people person no matter where you are in life. And I knew and recognized back then, speaking skills were going to take me far. So the little bit of speaking skills that I learned just through osmosis, if you will, through my father, pulled me through school, pulled me through college, pulled me through high school. I shouldn't have. Dude, my guidance counselor told me that I would not amount to shit. I would barely graduate. I would love to show him my Schedule K-1s for multiple companies. Screw that guy. I would not amount. Right. I knew, to answer your question, I knew back then You had to be a people person to get through life. So when I went to college, I took the classes. Maybe did I take it because I didn't have to take friggin' geometry? Maybe. But I learned so many skills in those classes that carry me through this day in life. But I still had to hone in on them, and I still had to do things after. So when I was in my 20s, early in business, I learned broadcasting. I wanted to be on the radio. So I turn on the radio voice, turn off the radio voice, all of that stuff. So I learned it early in life, but it doesn't mean you can't do it now. I don't care if you're 30, 40, 50 years old. Go do it. Go learn.
So a little bit about Regan too. On that night that he came and speak and changed my life, everybody kind of went out and asked people. Well, I went to dinner and I answered some questions and was inspired to help some people, but I was looking for Regan. Regan wasn't there. Makes sense because he didn't know he was going to be there that morning. But Regan came back the next day. But what I did is I went back to the hotel and I looked up Regan, and I looked up, he briefly mentioned this group called The Hub, right? And I looked up this man and found out that he has built the most incredible community impactful business thriving model for his hometown in NPR. And I didn't sleep. I studied all night. And as soon as I saw him the next day, his second impression was like, what's up with this dude? He really wants to meet me. But I came into that next day and I said, hey, we got to meet. We got to meet. And I was persistent. When you look into the Hub and guys do it, Regan built this in COVID to impact his community and get businesses to raise up together. It's an amazing thing. He's in almost at 7 figures on what he's raised for his community. It's wild. I flew and saw it firsthand. I say all that to come back around, and Regan, our listeners pay attention to something I say a lot, and it's called unofficial sponsorships. Right? As an entrepreneur, I'm always looking for unofficial sponsorships. It doesn't cost me to tag that other social media person in my community and collaborate together. And a lot of people are like, oh, message me about it, unofficial sponsorship. I love it. I'm doing it. But while I got the case, I got to say, this man is the GOAT of unofficial sponsorships. He has built his community thriving together in small businesses off of this model unofficial sponsorship. So when I was on the stage talking about unofficial sponsorships and Mark's like, dude, we got to talk more. That was an echo of what this man's built, and I'll let him share on that a little bit. But man, this is the king of unofficial sponsorship.
I appreciate the flattery. It's making me uncomfortable, but I will tell you, I'll tell you.
Yeah. You are turned red.
We have at least 5 more lists of all these different things we want to just shine about you. So get ready. You might take the jacket off. You're going to sweat so much.
I don't know if I trust it. You might make yourself do that right now.
The goal should be talking about others, and that's what you're doing. You're talking about an other right now. And once people recognize they start talking about others more, their businesses will flourish. So I do appreciate these shout outs. To answer the quick version of that, I recognize that I don't need to just build myself a funnel. Everybody out there, listen up good. Build a funnel for your community. And if you build a funnel for your community, you will thrive. It is the most unofficial sponsorships on the planet. Lift other people, point them in the right direction. So when I created the Hub, my goal initially was during COVID, and everyone was panicking, freaking out, and should we not market our business? Should we market our business? So I said, let's grab the flag and let's take the hill and let's go. And I wanted to take my community on a journey with me. And I said, I still have to feed my family. I don't know about you, but I'm not going to stop marketing. If anything, I'm going to double down. And boy, did that work. Not only did it work, everyone that came with me flourished and thrived during that time because they could either cower away in their turtle head and their turtle shell, or you come out and just crush it. And that's what we did. We crushed it. So
supporting other businesses, right? Hey, I'm going to use you and you're going to use you because we're doing good work and we're bringing each other up and we're going to teach each other how to spend the message.
Do these people operate on a moral compass? Do these people have integrity? Are these people following up and doing the right thing? And if they're not, you're not going to be a part of it. And with that comes hate. And I know you saw that as well within the Hub, but I'm not, at this stage of my life, that's laughable to me. And I don't call them haters. I call them fans. If you are at a position in your life where you're going to speak badly about someone, that comes from beneath. So you either want what that person has or it's from pure jealousy. because successful people aren't talking about people that are lesser than them. And I know that might sound brash, but that's the truth. People that are successful aren't going, look at that loser. They're saying, how can we lift somebody up and how can we go attain the summit that much higher? So I don't worry about those people. What we worry about the people that we can lift. But let me tell you the good stuff. July this year, 2025, will be year 5. Will be year 5. And although 7 figures is almost attained through the charity alone, tens of millions of dollars proven have been filtered through this community, through the network. Tens of millions of dollars. I get text messages and messages from people in Messenger, direct message, and slide into my DMs, or however we all say in today's world. Thank you, thank you, thank you. My business changed, my trajectory changed. People know about my brand now. Simply why? Because you're lifting people. The other day, I made a post about having pizza at some place that nobody knew existed. And a plethora of people showed up to have pizza at this. Why aren't we doing that? I said this before. You guys heard me on stage. Why aren't we lifting our coffee shops? Why aren't we lifting our pizza shops? Why aren't we lifting our local seamstress? Why aren't we lifting our local bar that everyone, watering hole that people go to? Why? Why are we not doing that? Stop talking about your own business. Start talking about others.
Everywhere you go is an opportunity to make a relationship. And I learned that from Regan. Right, man, everywhere he goes in NPR or outside of that now is he's talking to the owner. He's saying, I want to understand where you're at in business and how can I help you? And you have a great product here. And it's amazing to see he makes efficient use of his time in every one of his stuff.
You came down here and I'm grateful that you met a lot of my friends and brand associates and brand partners.
If anybody's listening, Hubbers, what's up? I miss you guys. I need to come back and see you. I spoke to a few of you. Yeah.
I'm glad you came to my office and I'm glad you saw some things. But at the end of the day, you said some things to me that made me think about scalability of the hub. And the truth is, a lot of it doesn't work without the main guy helping and pushing it. It's hard to find a main guy to help and push. So I said, how am I going to scale this on a different level? So at this time when you were here, this is when Jordan and Lung and I from JL Video, we were talking about how maybe we can collaborate and put this together. So finally, months and months later, legalities, lawyers, this and that, paperwork, sunbiz.org, bank paperwork. Finally, the partnership is formed. And on April 1st, 2025, we are launching thehubnetwork.com, which is also be an app. So it's going to be birthed in Florida first. And I want you to guys picture this as more of a directory of businesses, but it's going to be also a training platform on a local level on how to build your business. Now, I'm just throwing numbers out there, but anybody can attempt to replicate this, or you can call me and we can collaborate and build it in your community. Right, make it a little easier for it because we've done all the legwork for you. But I'm just throwing some numbers out there. These aren't solid numbers. I'm just for shits and giggles. Let's say there's 3 different packages, one at 100, one at 250, and one at 400 a month. And you get to be in this directory. And here's the deal. Here's the difference between Angie's List and Yelp and everything else. What we're doing is we are actually 100%, we are verifying these people have insurance. They have the insurance they need. They have workman's comp that they need. They have everything that they need to be a legitimate business. So we're verifying them and making sure they are a good business to even be in our directory. And check this out. If they fail, they get 3 strikes. If they fail, would you wait till you hear what we're doing? You guys are gonna love this. If they fail, they get 3 strikes. Their business is out of the directory and they're no longer going to be in it. Then there's $200 service that we help you with your website. Then the $300 service, it's actually a training program as well, where people could go on and get marketing tips, SOP tips, human resources tips. So we built a team of individuals that are all in one place, and they could just click on the video of our local human resource officer, Marcia Corzera, who works in Italy and all over the place for human resources. Then we have business consultants and this consultant, that consultant. Quite frankly, we'd like for you guys to be involved as well for the moving industry, right? So we have all these different tiers, and this is where things get a little different. Ready for this? We are going to allow customer reviews. We are going to allow the business to rate the customer. How was the customer to you? How did the customer treat you? How was the customer experience? Was the customer a Karen? Was this or that? Because at the end of the day, not every customer is right anymore, are they? The customer is not always right. There is a sense of entitlement out there in today's world, and we are going to change the game. So just like Uber, because this is a subscription base, we are allowed to do it. Just like at Uber, you get rated as a good passenger. Well, you're going to get rated if you're a good hub member.
That's right. We're all wondering our rating. We're all wondering. Once we learn there's a rating system, we're telling our buddies to act a little better in the Uber. Like, hey, this is under my name. So it worked. Guys, and just to say this too, check out the hub in Tampa. All right. So what he's bringing to communities, what he's putting out there, it's a group of members, a group that you started, I believe, with 13. Was it 13? You started members?
Oh, yeah. 13 people showed up, and now it's 55,000.
The group alone in the community was at 52,000, I think, last I checked.
Now we're 55.
55,000, and Regan boots a lot of people out that try to come in there all the time that are not Tampa people, not in the NPR, not to do business, not good intent. And he cycles business through this thing like nothing I've ever seen. And all the people that are around Regan, that support Regan, you'll see are his biggest fans, and those are other business leaders, because he's providing an environment where all of them can thrive together and teaching them how. And he's got this incredible system. It's awesome to hear that Jordan's joined in, because the guy's brilliant. Look him up, Jordan Lung. What he does in marketing and his production is amazing. He's done some stuff with Eric Works. I'm sure everybody's seen with the rebranding videos and stuff like that. But man, this is a powerful network that Regan's bringing. So excited to hear that. And also, I know you're doing some consulting services. So, hey, I'll give you an easy one here. You know my business a little bit. You watch me on Facebook. I'm thankful for that. Give me some tips here and there. If I hired you as a consultant next week, what do you think you would bring to my business? What could I expect from Regan coming on hand? And what's the kick in the butt that I need as the king of unofficial sponsorships, as people know, right? So I can see that Regan's going to add it. Yeah.
The first thing I'm doing is talking to your staff, and I want to see what their disposition is in that company, how they feel towards you, how they feel towards their managers. And then my second thing is I'm going to ask them, why are we not talking about Mr. Stephen Reed every single day? Why are we not lifting him up on your own social media? If this is the guy that helps employ you, if this is the guy that puts food on your table because he decided to make a risk in life and open up a business and risk everything he had, why aren't we lifting up Mr. Stephen Reed every single day? That would be the first thing I do, is say, what's the culture of the company? And if the culture of the company is lazy, if it's lackluster, that would be my number one goal over the next 2 days, to be in that company, to say, how are we going to fix this? And how are we going to fix your I'm not saying this is about, I'm just saying in general. What is your disposition? Why are your employees not doing this for you? And I've said this on stage, gentlemen, I'm sure you heard me say it. Your employees are your most underutilized assets. And I can't tell you how many companies, even I deal with on a local level, where there is this just sense of entitlement, and they owe me this, and you don't owe you shit, employee. You're an employee. Be blessed. Yes, do your job. You're getting paid for it, but there should be something else a little bit extra that you should want to lift your boss and want to brand your company. And quite frankly, if it's not like that, we're starting to build that into SOPs. I'm going to tell you guys something crazy. There's a company down here, an organization called AM Skills. Look it up, AM Skills. This is where they teach like HVAC representatives. They teach electrical. They teach all this stuff. You know what we're going to start doing at AM Skills, or actually other trade schools, as if you will? We're telling them, you're not just a tech. You're also a video marketer. And we're teaching the trades that come in that you're a video marketer for your company. How about that? And guess what? Who's going to get paid more? The guy that's the video marketer for the company, the guy that's willing to send videos in all day to his office, be like, this is what we accomplished today, and they're filming the content for you. This is the new norm. So you're in a moving industry, figure it out and train your staff that this is the way it's going to be.
Why is that the first thing? Why is that? What impact have you seen that makes that your first thing as a seasoned consultant that knows marketing in the moving industry and home services in general so well? What's the big impact?
If you don't think your community doesn't recognize that when their employees enjoy and love where they work, they want to hire people immediately. I see Billy, he posts about your company all the time. I see Stuzy in your office, and she's always talking about how you take care of her and you give her bagels every morning, and you're always delightful when you see her every day. These people talk about you. They are your most underutilized asset. They are your marketers. So when they're lifting you up as an employee, why would they not want to hire your company? Otherwise, you're just another brand. You're just another brand, man. Another logo, another this or another that. People want to hire people. People want to hire people that take care of their community. That's first and foremost. Second thing is your community involvement. How are you infiltrating your community? How are you penetrating your community? What are you doing for others in your community? And if you're not, you're doomed. You're doomed. It's inevitable. You're doomed. You might make money. You might still do okay. Or do you want to flourish? If you do this, you flourish. If you do this, you're just going to continue your status quo.
For those that are listening and having this now epiphany going, I really need to get involved in the community. What would you say are some of the ways in that local city, that local area that they have their moving company, where should they go? Should they be going to like a chamber or something to like, what are some of the first steps they could be taking to be involved more in the community?
All of you in the moving industry, I don't care where you are, Canada, America, or in Europe, hear me out, folks, and take and heed this advice. Build your own team, and build your network. Pick 5 to 10 businesses that you know you believe in. Pick 5 to 10 businesses that know that they are going to do a good job for the customer. I don't care if it's contractor, electrician, an HVAC guy, a plumber, or whatever it is. Find those businesses that believe in you and you believe in them. Now you've created your own network of businesses and trust. Now do co-op marketing together, buy in together, do advertisements together, and now go do a scavenger hunt in your local community. Start giving away things, whether it's a gift certificate for their services, or maybe you want to go buy something. You could do it around Easter, Christmas time, Halloween, or any holiday that you want, and start doing scavenger hunts in your community. What does that mean? Go to your local park. All of you go say, we're going to have a community scavenger hunt. No strings attached. Our network, mine is the Hub Network. Yours could be the Movified Network, we'll call it. The Movified Network is going to have this scavenger hunt. We're giving away $1,000 gift certificate Visa. We're giving away $500 off of HVAC if you need HVAC. We're giving away a grocery store. What's the catch? There is no catch. We just want to take care of our community. Now we put on this huge scavenger hunt. Everyone's coming out. Oh, and by the way, you have to go live on your Facebook while you're doing this the whole entire time. You're showing everyone laughing, playing, having a great time, lifting each other up, and continue to do that month after month, year after year, and lift your community. Come together as one. Stop being so independent. Stop saying that you're the only one that's going to do this, and start lifting all these other businesses, but at the same time, giving back to your community. Find a local project. Guess what? The best thing you could do, let me tell you what I've done. Anytime I drive down the road, you know what I look for? Opportunities. And here's an opportunity. If I'm driving down the road and I see a marquee sign, a wall with graffiti on it, who do you think I'm calling? I'm calling my friends that own a pressure washing company, and I'm like, guys, I need you to do me a favor. How much is this going to cost? Go clean that shit up. Reagan, I'm on it. They'll go out there. I'll sponsor it. I don't care if it's $200. Let's clean up our community together. Let's put our community back together. Go clean up that graffiti because the city's not doing it. The county's not doing it. Let's go friggin' do it. You know what? You know what? Half the time, they're Reagan, I got it. I'm just going to take care of it, man. No charge, no nothing. Let's collaborate on the next one. I'm getting fucking goosebumps. Find those people that are willing to lift you up and bring you into the next level and network like that and do community help. And who's the hero, guys? You. And why? You're doing it authentically. Why are you doing it authentically? Why? Because you want your community cleaned up. This is where your kids are being raised. This is where your kids are going to raise their families. This is where you're raising your families. Why are we not lifting each other up in the community? That's why. But you can't do it on your own. You can't. You got to find people to do this with. So stop being, I don't need no help. I don't need nobody. And you're like, oh, Reagan, I'm a moving company. No one cares. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. People by people, yes, they do. What's I keep forgetting her name. I love her to death. Jessica from Texas.
Jessica Hewley, Evolved Moving.
Love her, right? I literally talked, I don't know if she knows now because I told her, but I was talking to her on stage. And I know some people are diminutive to themselves. They keep themselves small. Oh, I'm just a small mover. Stop thinking that way. You're a business owner in your community, and it's your job to go and lift other people in your community. And the reason why I brought up Jessica is because people see what you do, guys. Stephen, they see what you're doing. Mark, they see what you're doing. They see you're doing podcasts. They see your community involvement. They see you in the gym. They see you passionate about your family. People by people. And Jessica is working her ass off in the gym. And if you don't think people don't see her hard work ethic in the gym, they do. And they're like, wow, if she's going to work that hard in the gym, she must be a hell of a boss. She must be, my God, her company must be on fire. You have that kind of dedication? Come on, man. That's why you do this shit. But for some odd reason, we don't do that. And we get lost and stuck in our what, guys? Our normal routines, our SOPs that we don't deviate from. So if that's the problem and you're still mandated with your SOPs, then put this shit in your SOPs and make this a part of your everyday. Make this a part of your life. Make this a part of your rituals and your schedules. That's the shit you do. I'm gonna tell you something right now. You got some good fucking clips on this one. I'm pumped up now.
On the consulting side, when you come in there, so for all those owners that say, gosh, my people won't do anything on social media, they won't jump out there and do that. What's the Regan effect? After you come in there and challenge it for all those, because I think that's probably all your clients say that at first. What do you see instantly when you go in there? Does it change?
Every single time, doesn't matter what company I'm in, they say they're not going to do it. But you know what I do? I find the one. And we take the one and we train the one. And that one gets a bonus, some kind of bonus structure, a pay raise or whatever the hell is. And now they are the marketing coordinator for their company as well. And we find that one, and that one's responsibility is to get video content every single day for that company and post on behalf. And that one will be there. You will find that person. It could be a guy in the field. It could be a woman in your office. You will find that one. If you do not heed my advice, ladies and gentlemen, no matter what, in this lifetime, in this business lifetime, you will have to hire a marketing coordinator for your business. If you choose not to, you're going to outsource and you're going to pay more. But make no mistake, you're going to save a ton of money and make way more money if you bring one in-house. It is inevitable. You need to have this. You need to have your DJI mics, your Osmos, and all of that stuff, and it needs to be given to your staff or one staff member, and that is their job every single day.
Money and social media. That's it. So when Regan goes in there and says, hey, social media guys, you're following McDonald's. You're following Ralph Lauren. You're following all these, you're following young Jock. You're following all these different things, but you're not doing this family man that you're working your heart out for. The same guy that his livelihood's in your hands too, that you're putting your career in, you're not sharing him. And man, that's effective. That is the challenge. And because nobody can really say, why am I following Taco Bell instead of Big League Movers that works for me?
Stephen, why are you following Taco Bell?
Great deals. The fries are nice. They came out with. No, but really, that's the challenge. This is the livelihood, and Regan does a good job of making somebody realize that, of igniting that fire that they didn't see it through the owner's eyes. Right on that side.
My second superpower is recognizing the power that people don't know they have, and I am your number one cheerleader. I promise you, Mark. If you were closer to me, buddy, you'd probably hear from me every day and say, "What are you doing today?"
You'd probably hear from me every day as well, too. I wish we were closer.
It's a part of it. That's what you're supposed to do. I don't understand why we're not normalizing this. Why are we not normalizing lifting other people? Let's normalize lifting other people. And everything changes. Our whole world changes, for goodness sake, gentlemen. Our communities change. If we just lift other people, if we're not so judgmental, and we live in a judgmental world, of course we do. But could you imagine if we just lived in lifting other people? Man, life would be different. But
how do we get a hold of Regan?
No, there's also a big. Well, let's before we hit into the DMs of Regan.
It goes down in the DMs.
You have an event that's coming up. It goes down in the DMs. You have a
event.
Look at that thigh. Woo. Those people that are only listening to the audio.
Start talking DMs. It starts getting weird on here.
That's right. You have an event that you're part of coming up in April, located out in St. Petersburg, right? It is, why don't you give us a little bit of a rundown? Because I see all your clips and you guys are doing some filming and prepping for this event.
I was there the past 2 days. We're doing some promos for it. I was there this morning. And I don't get very intimidated. I could get into places I spoke to, in front of you guys before, 800 people, 1,000 people. But it's been in hotels. It's been in small theaters, local and stuff. I walked in there this morning, like today was the first day we were allowed to get in the theater, and it was overwhelming. So it's at the Mahaffey Theater in St. Petersburg, Florida, April 10th, 2025, 2,000 seats. It's not just for moving, it's for business in general. And I don't care if you're in the moving industry or a contractor or own a cleaning company, everything is going to be just nuggets of information to grow and brand your business. A lot of realtors as well are going to be there because we're mentioning realtors with the trade industry, which I think is fantastic. Tommy Mello, he's going to be our headliner, and you guys know Tommy.
Just for a minute, but I think it picks back up. The podcast picked you up either way.
Listen, everyone loves Tommy, but here's the thing. Tommy spits truth. Tommy spits the SOPs. Tommy spits the scale. And that's what people need to hear. I could do hype. I could do marketing. I love all that stuff. But if you don't know how to do the back end, there's no point to market and brand your business and hype because you're just hyping bullshit. Anybody could sell, right? I could hype this up. This is the best thing on the planet. This is the best present. This is the best watch or whatever the case is. But if your company can't back it up, you're dead in the water. So there's some phenomenal speakers there. Of course, obviously, Wade and Chad are hitting it up. I believe I'm going to be the opener. I'm excited about that. Just to get the crowd going. And then we're going to have...
Who is that guy? Who is he? No, I'm joking.
Jordan's going to be speaking. I'm part of my business partner, Nick. To always lift someone, I want to lift my business partner and the contractor really quick. Nick Holmes. He's in his mid-30s. He owns 8 companies. He owns an engineering firm. He owns a drafting firm. And he is the CEO of the contractor. Make no mistake, I'm his business partner. But in that business, I am number 2. And I'm happy to be in that position because there's a lot of weight on his shoulders. And although we're very equally yoked, he's got a lot on his shoulders. But I want you to know he scaled a construction company and a barn-dominium company without ever building a barn-dominium. That is ridiculously impressive. And at the end of the day, we're going to show you how we did all of that with networking and marketing itself. It's a beautiful thing.
Brilliant man. Brilliant man. I actually had the pleasure of speaking with Nick today. It's crazy how he has everything that he has, and he's just calm and collect. When you talk to him, you wouldn't think that he has 8 businesses and everything going on, and a public figure like he is, and doing it for the politics for the state. And it's like such respect for him. So great to hear he's there. I can't wait to see him. And guys, in the moving side, the home services, if you're just comparing yourself to your competition in the moving world, you're behind already. Right? We are in a home service segment, and there is so much more than just moving that has the same kind of topic services we do. Besides the fundamental service, it's the same marketing, same customer needs, same sales cycle. A lot of these people are buying during move. And man, you will be amazed when you go to an event like this with Tommy and Regan on that side. So great endorsement there.
Exactly.
Mark, we said it before. You're not a moving company. You're a marketing company. Learn that first, and then everything else is gravy, kids. You're a marketing company first that happens to market moving. And I really hope your audience understands that. I do want to give a shout out to Movified. I see what you're doing, brother. I'm glad I've got to meet you. I'm glad you recorded my nose on your podcast. That was fantastic. I'm glad you find that footage. But in all sincerity, all moments of levity aside and all joking aside, I see what you're doing. I see both of you. Mark, congratulations to everything that you're doing, your growth of your family, the growth of your business, the podcast. Please don't stop doing this, man. There's only so many leaders in our world. There's only so many leaders in our country. There's only so many men that can lead. You guys are those men. Please don't stop what you're doing. I'm like gonna cry about it. We don't have enough men to lead people in the right direction. Please continue to keep being the men that you are and lead your community and lead your area. All right.
Thank you so much, Regan. I really appreciate it. For those that want to reach out to Regan and find more information, check out all the description, and you'll see all his details to reach out to him. But if someone's just listening and says, I don't want to do that, Mark, where can they reach you?
Actually, my website was just revamped. You can check it out at 43inc.net. Go look that up, and then you can get in touch with me that way and all that fun stuff. My book's available there, all that stuff. So,
oh yeah, get the book on Amazon too, or on his website, all that stuff. And where can we buy a ticket to meet you at the Titan Retreat?
HometownTitanRetreat.com. I will tell you guys, they're affordable. There's $97 tickets.
They're so undervalued, for sure, yeah.
$97. Tommy Mello's in the room. $97. I said, you guys are nuts. There's bigger tickets down low, but I promise you, I was there today. There's not a bad seat in the house. Take a look at my Facebook page. I posted it. It's fantastic.
St. Pete, where should we stay if we're going?
There's actually a Hilton right across the street. Right? Like you can come out of your elevator and walk to Mahaffey Theater. And the beauty part is the pier is there as well, the St. Pete Pier. And anybody that's there, People, you know what? People in your community are going to see that you're traveling and you're going to other places to gain more credibility, to gain knowledge. Record all of that. Record your journey, record where you are. I promise it's going to be an awesome thing. But the Hilton is literally right there. So St. Pete, so much life, so much culture. Central Avenue down there, restaurant after restaurant after restaurant. It's just a good trip to go to. It's just, and then we're gonna have a VIP party at the end. Just fun stuff.
You and I went to the dock there.
Yes.
Sunset, I believe.
Yep.
It was sunset. We had
You
a
guys hold
beautiful
hands
time.
and skip too?
It-
So jealous. So jealous.
No, you know what? Actually, Reagan taught me how to do better videos in that time while we were at the sunset in the dock. This man is passionate about it. He could have totally hit on me. It was the mood and everything, but he's...
Get me out of here, Mark.
We're done. Good timing. For all those listeners, thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you so much, Reagan, for jumping on the podcast with me and Steven. Steven,
Love you
it's always a
guys, man.
pleasure.
Great
Always
job.
happy to sit down when it comes to Movified Wednesdays. And for all those listeners, stay Movified.